Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am very happy to be here with you all today. And for today's video, I have asked your person's higher self how they really felt the last time that they saw you. This is intended to be about somebody that you maybe haven't seen in a while or are in separation with, somebody you're not in contact with anymore. It could be an ex, it could be somebody that you had kind of an undefined situation with, maybe a friendship. I don't know at this point what's going to come through in the cards, uh, but we're going to ask their higher self their true feelings about what they felt the last time that they saw you in person. So, however that applies to you, that's what we're going to be asking about in this reading. So, feel free to pause the video, pick whichever pile speaks to you. And with that said, let's get into today's reading. Hello, Pile 1, and welcome to your reading. Today I have asked about what your person was truly and honestly thinking and feeling the last time they saw you. And this is whatever person you're thinking about is the person that I'm asking about. However, with these cards, I'm getting a pretty specific message here and a pretty clear idea of, I think, the major parts of the story. And I want to say, I didn't intend to take so many cards. What tends to happen is I have an idea of what I want the spread to look like, and then my spirit guides are like, no, you need this many cards. And so, this is the biggest spread I've ever done. However, it takes as many cards as it takes to get a full idea of the full picture here. So we have your 10 cards here. The top 5 are being clarified by the bottom 5. And then we had, again, I didn't want to take the 11th card, but then Spirit kept insisting that I look at the card on the bottom of the deck. And when I did, I saw that it was the 10 of Cups. And I was like, okay, I understand why you wanted me to look at this card. So with that said, I'm going to give an overall impression of all these cards, and then I'll go through and kind of explain what I'm talking about. So what I'm seeing with this pile is I think that it's likely that this person walked away from you, and it wasn't because they didn't have real feelings. I think what happened with this connection, there was something unconventional maybe about this connection between the two of you. I think maybe this person came towards you expecting something like fun or casual or light. Maybe they were excited and interested because maybe you fell outside of their normal type, or there's something unconventional, as I said, or maybe a little bit taboo about your connection, and they were excited about that. And then I think what happened is they caught feelings. They realized that it wasn't going to necessarily be smooth sailing to make the relationship work, just because it was outside of the norm in some way. Maybe there was cultural differences or something like that. And in addition to that, I think that this person also realized that they were catching feelings for you because of how emotionally available, emotionally open, emotionally generous, like how compassionate, caring, kind, and gentle you were with them. They realized they couldn't match that energy. They weren't bringing that to the table. And so while they might have seen you, maybe unconsciously, as their 10 of Cups, they realized that they were not on your level. Some part of them knew that in their current imbalanced energy, they did not deserve to be with somebody like you, or that's how they felt. And they chose to walk away because they didn't want to have to work through whatever barriers were coming up from this relationship, and because some part of them felt inferior, not because you were intentionally making them feel that way, but I think they just kind of realized that they couldn't enter an equal partnership with you. Like they couldn't be on your level of emotional maturity. They couldn't meet you halfway in that sense. They couldn't be what you needed and what you deserved. And so I think it was a combination of both those things that caused them to walk away from this connection. And I think that they did feel confused about it. And I think that all of that confusion and fear caused them to decide to let go of this connection, even though they realized they could have had a lot of emotional fulfillment with you. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. He's throwing a tantrum. I also realized I didn't have a ton of time to film today, but I really wanted to get at least your pile done today because I was getting a lot of downloads about what these cards meant, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything if I filmed it tomorrow. So sorry if I'm a little bit rushed and if you can hear my cat throwing a tantrum in the background. Anyway, that's the general overview of the cards here. So I'm going to start with the Three of Wands in reverse. And the Three of Wands in reverse to me is a symbol of somebody realizing that something they thought was going to be kind of fun and effortless is going to either be delayed or blocked in some way, and it's going to take much more effort than they originally thought, and that person might choose to walk away. And that's being clarified by this Two of Swords in reversed, which is telling me that even though your person was feeling like might have had the sudden realization that if they wanted to pursue something with you, it was going to be harder than they thought, but that I don't think they communicated that to you. I think with this Two of Swords reversed, there's, this person's kind of stuck in limbo or refusing to make a decision or refusing to communicate what they want. People are waiting for them to come up with a verdict, and they're in an avoidance kind of energy. So I think it's likely that either this person strung you along, or they told you that they were going to show up for you and they were willing to put the whatever work in was needed, and then they didn't follow through. I think there was a lack of communication, or they didn't want to make a decision here. Maybe they sabotaged your relationship instead of just walking away. Maybe they did something to try to force you to make the decision for them, if that makes sense. And either way, it's the energy of somebody who doesn't want to deal with the fact that something they thought was going to be fun and easy turned out to be something that they were going to have to put effort into. And they were not, from the rest of your cards, I can tell you they were not ready for that. And I think that there's definite regret there. I'm sorry if I laugh sometimes. It's a coping mechanism. I'm not laughing at you. I think that there is real regret here, especially with that Ten of Cups card at the end. So I'm going to move on to the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This card to me says walking away, because the way I'm reading these cards, I see you as this Queen of Cups at the end here. I think that the rest of this spread is related to your person. I think you are being represented by this Queen of Cups. And I have to say, none of these people, even the Hierophant has their eyes closed. None of the people on these cards are looking at the Queen of Cups. And that tells me it's likely this person either walked away or they intentionally sabotaged the relationship to try to get you to walk away. Maybe you ended up doing that, or maybe you called them out in some way and gave them an excuse then to say, okay, well, no, now I'm out, and that was something that they would have done intentionally. So I want to say, I'm getting the strong impression that whatever happened here was not your fault, and it had nothing to do with the intensity of this person's feelings for you. It wasn't about, if it was about that, the intensity scared them. It wasn't that they didn't have real feelings. So I want to say that. And then that what I'm talking about with the Knight of Pentacles is, it seems to me like he's walking away from you. And that's why I brought that up as my interpretation. And the Knight of Pentacles, when it's upright, is a slow-moving energy, but at least it's, coming towards us, coming into our life. When it's reversed, what this card tells me is, because Pentacles is a card about, or a suit about, determination, commitment, hard work, patiently cultivating something so that it can grow. This person might have been, at the last time they saw you, afraid of commitment. And I don't think it was afraid of committing to you specifically. It might have been with the Hierophant in reverse here. However, I think this person, when they realized the intensity of the feelings that they were feeling, became afraid of that, and that caused them to be afraid of committing to this relationship. I hope that makes sense. So I think that this person, with the Three of Wands reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed right beside it, this person was not willing to put whatever work needed to go into this relationship. They were not willing to meet you halfway. They were not feeling determined about seeing this through. And unfortunately, with the Seven of Cups card here, I think that they might have left this connection with you, whatever it was, in order to pursue maybe like meaningless connections with other people, because the Seven of Cups card is about options, pursuing other options. Maybe they were like thinking to themselves, I don't need to tie myself down because I have other options. And that was a way for them to distract themselves from the depths of their feelings for you. And so whatever, if you have been following them and you're aware that maybe they've been going out with other people or seeing other people or spending time with other people, what I'm seeing in these cards is those are just distractions. Because it's also, with the Seven of Cups card, I don't think the person on this card knows which cup to pick. I don't think that they're seeing very clearly. I don't think that this person walked away from you to go towards somebody else specific that they wanted to commit to. I think they were just scared. I think they were scared of having to commit to any cup at all. And I think that they were scared particularly because of the next two cards, which are the Hierophant in reverse and the Ace of Cups. And the way that I'm being called to interpret these cards is the Hierophant talks about institutions, traditions, cultural norms, things that are like a family traditions, things that we're kind of expected to do as a part of society. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Those things can have tremendous meaning and bring a lot of joy into our lives. However, this card's in reverse, which tells me that there might have been, that's why I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, there might have been something about this connection between you two, maybe that goes against some sort of cultural norm. And that could be referring to maybe this was an LGBT relationship or connection or situation, might not have been like a full relationship. Or it could be maybe there's a cultural difference, like a major cultural difference between the two of you. Maybe there's some sort of big age gap or like a power dynamic, like an unequal power dynamic in some way. Maybe it's like a student-teacher kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Like maybe there was something about this relationship that they might have considered, or their culture might have considered, or their family might have considered to be taboo or off limits or pushing boundaries in some way. And with this Ace of Cups here, I want you to know that the fact that this this card is here tells me this person's feelings for you were real. They could see a new beginning here with you. You helped. I think they weren't expecting it. I think because this relationship was unexpected for them in some way, there was some, as I'm saying, there's some thing here that's outside of the norm of their normal, like their usual connections. I think they weren't expecting to develop feelings for you. And I think with this Ace of Cups, you opened up their heart to realizing, I actually really have real feelings for this person. I could have a new start, the start of something new and beautiful and genuine and loving with this person. And so that's why I'm saying I think this person's feelings were real. And with the first four cards here, I think that feeling was scary for them. And I don't think they knew how to cope with their fear about that, and I don't think they communicated that to you. So I'm taking the opportunity to let you know this person really cared about you and they could see something beautiful with you, and especially because we have both the Ace of Cups here and the Ten of Cups. So I do want to talk about these two kings here. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse being clarified by the King of Cups upright. And then I do want to talk about these two, but I also feel the need, like this King of Cups is definitely connected with the fact that this person sees you as the Queen of Cups. Because the way I'm being called to read these two kings like this, one upright being one reversed being clarified by the other one upright, is the King of Pentacles reversed is how this person perceived themselves to be, either unconsciously or consciously. This is what their higher self is saying. they were the King of Pentacles in reverse in this situation. And they, again, perhaps subconsciously recognized that what you deserve, because you're the Queen of Cups, is your King of Cups. And so that's why I was talking about feeling like they can't match your energy. They can't bring what you need to the table. They can't be what you needed in this relationship or what you deserved in this relationship, because I see you as being very loving, very generous with your time and your energy and your emotions, your emotional honesty. You were bringing your real self to this relationship. You were bringing real, genuine love to this connection. And this person could only meet it with the King of Pentacles in reverse. They could not show up for you as this King of Cups. And I think the fact these two kings are here is telling me this person recognized that, whether consciously or unconsciously. And the King of Pentacles in reverse is telling me that this person might have felt, I'm getting a couple of interpretations. This person might have felt that they also weren't on your level. Maybe they perceived you also as being more financially stable or financially abundant than they were, and maybe they felt like they couldn't provide for you. Maybe that's something that was important for them in a relationship. Maybe they're used to, or maybe it's part of this cultural norm situation with the Hierophant in reverse. Maybe they want to or expect themselves to be the person who is the breadwinner or is taking care of their partner financially, taking care of the family financially. Maybe that's like a part of it for them. And I think that this was absolutely not something that you were doing intentionally. I don't think you were even necessarily aware of it. I think they felt inadequate in that sense. Like they wouldn't be able to provide for you in the way that they felt you deserved, or the way that maybe they felt that you were in a position where you could have been the breadwinner and providing for them, and maybe there was part of themselves didn't like that. That wasn't something that they wanted in the relationship. So only take that as it resonates. There's another interpretation here that sometimes this King of Pentacles, when it's in this kind of reversed, imbalanced energy, can also talk about people who are obsessed with seeking wealth and power. And because we have both the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse, maybe this person has an unhealthy relationship with money. Maybe they are very concerned with their financial abundance to the degree where they're willing to give up their 10 of Cups in order to chase their financial dreams. Again, only take that as it resonates. It could also be somebody who's obsessed with status, in an unhealthy way. Like it could have been, they recognize that you're the Queen of Cups. They recognize they could have had their 10 of Cups with you. All this emotional fulfillment, emotional support, this great connection here. And at the time, they were more invested in seeking status and financial wealth, like going after people with money. Like that's the phrase that popped into my head. I didn't want to say it, but I did. And so that's why I'd say these two kings are here. There's the shadow aspect of the King of Pentacles that's showing up as this person's energy, and then there's a recognition down here with the King of Cups that that's not who they were at that time. And I think that is who they recognized that you deserved to be with. If you're the Queen of Cups, you deserve to have somebody in your life who's matching you as the King of Cups, regardless of your gender. And I think part of them knew that. And another reason why I'm saying that is I'm getting confirmation for this interpretation from the Judgment card being underneath the Queen of Cups. I think that this person, again, I don't think it was anything if you're showing up as the Queen of Cups, I don't see this as something that's coming from you directly or indirectly. I think this is like they're projecting their own feelings of inadequacy onto you. I think they made the judgment for the both of you that they were not on your level emotionally. And then they used that, maybe subconsciously, I'm not sure how self-aware this person is, as an excuse to walk away from you, as an excuse to give into their fear of commitment, their fear of how deep their feelings are for you, their fear of confronting whatever institutions or traditions they might have had to confront in order to be with you, their fear of maybe losing their social status or their financial stability if they pursued a relationship with you, they knew pursuing this relationship was going to be emotionally fulfilling for them, and they let their fear take over anyway. And I think that there might also be, as I'm saying this, I feel like this person's projecting onto you. I don't feel like you have made this person feel this way. However, I think they also had a fear with this Judgment card here that you were going to realize at some point that they didn't deserve to be with you. And that was very frightening. And so I think they chose to walk away instead of take the risk that you were going to wake up one day and realize how much better you are. And I'm not, again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth or say that you would ever say that to them, because I don't think you would. But that's just what their perception at the time, that was their thought process at the time. And I think the reason why your spirit guides wanted me to take the card at the bottom of the deck is because it is this Ten of Cups card, which just with all the other cups here just drives home for me that this person saw you and maybe still sees you as somebody that they could have had a happily ever after with. Whatever happened in this connection wasn't about you not bringing enough to the table. It was about them not being able to step into that King of Cups energy and give you what you deserve. They couldn't give you the Ten of Cups, or they weren't willing to put the work in to become that King of Cups, give you your Ten of Cups that you deserved. But they still see you as representing their emotional fulfillment. If they, in their life, are going to ever pursue a relationship, a commitment, a marriage, whatever that means for this person, with anybody, you are their ideal. With that said, I just asked what they were thinking or feeling the last time they saw you. I didn't ask about whether they're going to come back towards you. With that Ten of Cups card, what I'm going to say is, I don't think the door is fully closed here. But again, I don't know how much development or personal work this person has done since that time. So I don't feel comfortable saying one thing one way or the other. I just really thought it was really important that the Ten of Cups card came out so that you would understand that if this person was going to make a commitment, turn around, be willing to put the work in, be willing to overcome the odds, whatever they are, be willing to sit down and with that King of Cups energy beside you in the ocean with their crown on their head, without the fear of judgment, they would want all of that stuff with you because you're kind of it for them. So I hope that was helpful, Pi 1. I am going to move into your oracle cards, which is just a bit of an additional context and some advice from your spirit guides. Okay, Pi 1, here are your oracle cards. So the first two cards that we have here are your Chakra Wisdom oracle cards, and when I was shuffling, I just asked for any more info on what this person was truly thinking or feeling the last time that they saw you. And so we have two cards here. We have Dissipating, which is associated with the solar plexus chakra, and we have Balance, which is associated with the third eye chakra. And the Balance card didn't really come out. I saw it, and then I kept shuffling, and then I felt really called to take it, so I did. And I think it is, now having seen it, I'm like, that makes sense why it's here. So I'm going to start with the Dissipating card. And this card carries a message about not following through, in the sense that maybe we've talked a lot about what we want to do or what we intend to do, or wouldn't it be cool if this was going to happen, and then we never do it. So on the card we have a woman and her pet bird, and they're like talking about, wouldn't it be cool, if we shot this action movie, and they spend all their time talking about this really cool action movie, and what would it be like if they had the money, the time, and the resources to make this movie, and then they are blessed with the money, time, and resources to make this movie, and they end up going on a cruise instead. So again, this card gives me that energy of not following through on something that we either were excited about, we love to talk about it, But when the time came to actually put the work in, we made a different choice. We chose to spend our time a different way for whatever reason. So I would say this is definitely connected to that Three of Wands in reverse, particularly because the Wand suit is about like inspiration and excitement. And then with it being reversed, it's like, well, no, this is actually going to be much harder than I thought. It was fun to talk about and think about, but when it comes time to actually put my money where my mouth is, I don't have the will to follow through with this. And so again, I think this is definitely reflecting that message there. And yet there's, I mean, again, with that Two of Swords in reverse, I think that might have been very painful for you, because I'm just getting the sense that this person never told you why they didn't follow through, especially because they seem to be genuinely excited. And I'm being called to reiterate, the cards are saying fear. Fear was the main reason. And then I want to also talk about the Balance card, which is associated with the third eye chakra. And that is telling me that this is probably related to that King of Cups, Queen of Cups imbalance there. I think that because this is a third eye card, I think this person knew intuitively, or their spirit guides or your spirit guides were aware that there was an imbalance here, that you were not on the same level, you were not operating under the same capability, like you were not bringing the same things into this connection, and it wasn't balanced. And so that just, again, reiterates for me, I think it might have been unconscious on the part of this person. They just knew, they knew innately that they were not going to be able to meet you halfway at the time when they last saw you. There was an innate knowing on their end. That's how I think this card is coming up. And honestly, both of the archetype cards down here, we have Poet and Pioneer, and they're both showing the shadow attribute for both. I flipped them so that you could see that they came out reversed, which is showing the shadow attribute, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I think that this Poet in reverse is probably related to the Dissipating card, and the fact that this person might have told you one thing and then done the other thing. Because the shadow attributes for those cards turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. So I think that they might have been telling you everything you wanted to hear, and then they chose to walk away. And I think that they did that because they didn't want to have a hard conversation with you. I think that, again, that's related to this Two of Swords in reverse, not being willing to be communicative with somebody. And I can see how that would be very painful and difficult to deal with, because that would be very confusing to have to deal with somebody who's saying one thing, and then not showing up, making promises that either they don't intend to keep or they're not able to keep. And then we have the Pioneer. The shadow attributes for the Pioneer are the compulsive need to keep moving on. And I see that reflected in that King of Pentacles in reverse, clarified by the Seven of Cups. I think that this person is doing that because they want to avoid how they feel. They want to avoid having to deal with their emotions, and I think that they want to avoid having to confront the fact that they did you wrong. They didn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. They didn't end this connection in the right way. Not that there would have been a right way, but they just were not, they didn't do it fairly. They were not being respectful towards you or your time or your feelings. They were not in a balanced energy. And so we have the last two cards here. I asked for advice from your spirit guides. And we have, I'm going to start with the Starseed card, which says loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. And so if that's advice from your spirit guides about this connection, I think that this is their way of saying that it's okay to let go of this person, or that you might need to start releasing this connection on like a spiritual level. It might be an idea to do like a cord cutting ceremony. It might be an idea to even just ask your spirit guides for help. Like, please help me let go of this connection. And I think that that's going to be helpful for you. Like, I think they're telling you to do that for your own sake, because it could be that whatever happened here was so painful for you that you're struggling to cope with it in a healthy way. And it might be time to reach out for help if you need to do that, using whatever resources are available to you. And either way, I think it's a good idea to start to try to take practical steps towards letting go of this connection. And I want to also reiterate the next card we have here is the waxing crescent moon, which says, have faith in your dreams. And so I don't think your spirit guides are telling you to let go of this person because there's no potential here. They're never going to come back. You're never going to see them again. I think they're telling you to do that for your own mental and emotional health. And at the same time, there's a message with have faith in your dreams. And the fact that we had that 10 of Cups card come out, the door here might not be totally shut. However, I don't think it's necessarily the healthiest thing to keep staying so emotionally invested in this connection. I think that it's okay to give yourself permission to heal and move on from this. And if this person ever decides to come back towards you, that's a decision that you can make in the future. I just think it's important right now for you to focus on yourself and taking care of yourself. So I don't want to be preachy. I just want to, I want to make sure that I'm getting the advice from your spirit guides across here. I think that that's really what they're saying here. And I also want to reiterate a couple of things. Judging from the tarot cards and these cards here, what happened here was not your fault. This person was not ready for whatever your connection was. I don't know if they're ever going to be ready. They were not ready at that time, and they chose to walk away from you through no fault of your own. You are beautiful, kind, generous, loving, and deserving of somebody who's going to come towards you in a King of Cups energy. And you will find it. Have faith in your dreams. You will get to that 10 of Cups, whether it's with this person or somebody else. It's going to come in for you, and you deserve it. So I hope that was helpful, Pile 1. And if you liked it, please give it a like. Please comment down below. Let me know how it resonated. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you very much, Pile 1. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. Today I have asked, what was your person truly thinking and feeling the last time that you saw them? And I intended it to be the last time that you saw them in person. However, it could just be, the last time that you interacted. I just wanted to get, their accurate thoughts and feelings the last time they saw you. And I do want to say, Pile 2, this is a very different energy from Pile 1. And this is also one of the few times when I've done a tarot reading where every single card has come up reversed. And that tells me that the last time that you saw this person, they were in a very imbalanced energy. And the cards here are telling me a particular story. And what I'm getting with this is I think it's likely that you might have walked away from this person or been the one to end the contact between you, whatever that means for you, because of this person's behavior, because of the way they were acting. I think that they did or said something that made you realize that they were not interested in changing their behavior. And I think that that is probably why you would have made the decision to walk away from them. Judging from all of this reverse block energy here, I really don't think they were in a place where they were really thinking clearly about your connection. And I think it did probably fall to you to end the connection, if that's what happened for you. I'm just getting the sense, I got the sense in Pile 1 that their person got scared and walked away from their connection. I'm getting the sense here that you realized the unhealthy mindset of this person and decided to walk away. So just take that if it resonates. I will get into the cards and kind of explain what I'm seeing and why I'm saying that. And also, I want to mention, I didn't intend to, this tends to happen, I didn't intend to take so many cards, and then my spirit guides were like, no, we need the full context here. And then, so I have the 5 cards on top, and then the 5 cards in the second row are clarifying the top row, and then I have the Magician card in reverse was your back of the deck energy, and that's kind of like an overall energy or a final thoughts, just to give me a sense of the kind of the overarching energy that this person was in, or like an overview of the situation, if that's helpful. So I'm going to start here. We have the first card here is the Six of Wands in reverse, being clarified by the Daughter of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, also in reverse. And I do want to say, before I forget, we have lots of reverse cups. So, this person was definitely in their feels about whatever happened. And we also have a lot of daughters and sons, which are the pages and knights in this deck, which I thought was interesting. There might be a message. Something that popped into my head was, it could have been that maybe there were like children in this situation. Maybe you have children with this person. Maybe they wanted to have children with you. There might be a message there. I don't only take that if it resonates. But I definitely see this person as they were kind of in an immature mindset, and they were probably acting pretty immature the last time you saw them. There's no kings, queens, emperor, empresses in their thoughts or feelings. I think that and all of these pages and knights are reversed. So they were immature and they were behaving immaturely. That's the way that I would kind of interpret that. So I wanted to throw that in there before I forget. So the Six of Wands here. I could interpret this in a couple of ways. I think that there might be a dual message here, because this card talks about like not getting the recognition you deserve, or not getting like something that you feel like a reward that you've earned, or some thing you feel that you should be receiving, and then you don't. And that could have been part of their energy. Maybe they felt like you weren't giving them something that they wanted in this situation, if that makes sense. Maybe they felt like they were used to getting a certain level of attention from you or from other people. Maybe they're in a kind of maybe a toxic mindset where they feel like they need that attention and validation, like in an unhealthy way, like to an unhealthy degree. Maybe that's kind of one of the sources of their self-esteem, which again, I want to stress is not necessarily healthy. And then I think, because this Daughter of Wands is here, I think that when they didn't get that from you, I think that they might have lashed out at you, because the Daughter of Wands is like an impulsive kind of reckless energy, and it can lead to kind of like a childish reaction to something. That's one interpretation. And then something else that I'm seeing here is there is a butterfly on this card. And I think that in this specific situation, I'm being kind of drawn to one interpretation, which is that this might have been an ex, or somebody that you were in a situation with, or somebody that might have come towards you with like a romantic offer. And I think that either it was somebody you had a connection with, they came towards you like wanting to get you back, or to get your attention back, or to come back into your life, and you shut them down, rightly so. Or it could have been that you were slowly changing and realizing that you were not in alignment with this person, and that they were treating you badly, and they didn't like that. I think that they really reacted negatively to that. I think I would see you as being the butterfly on this card. You're changing, you're transforming, you're changing your energy. You're getting into a place where you're like, no, I don't want to have to be constantly giving you attention and validation. That's not healthy, and that's not fair to expect that from your partner. Like, it's not cool. It's not like, even friends who do that, it's not okay really to try and get all of your self-esteem from external relationships. And it's a burden to put on someone else to feel like they constantly have to be reassuring and validating. So if that is something that applies here, I think that maybe you had butterflied away from that, and kind of moved into your own energy. And if there was maybe a codependent pattern of behavior here, either on their end or your end, or maybe both, I think you started to get away from that, and they didn't like that. And I think that they reacted childishly to that. That's what I'm seeing kind of in these two cards here. That's maybe what might have happened. I think that they ended up feeling, frankly, the word that's coming into my head is butthurt. I think that they realized that you weren't going to give them that, like the attention or whatever. And I think that it hurt their feelings, and they might have lashed out at you. So the reason why I'm bringing up romantic connections, even though, in these readings, sometimes people are just asking about, friends or family members. The reason why I would see this as a potentially either romantic connection like an ex or somebody who came towards you with a romantic offer is because we have the next card, which is the Daughter of Cups, which is being clarified by the Two of Cups, and they're both reversed. And so the Daughter of Cups or the Page of Cups, when it's reversed, can talk about being really excited about a relationship or a connection or something, and then having that excitement crushed by the by the other person. It's like, I thought you were the one. I thought we were meant to be. Especially with this Two of Cards, probably I thought you were going to be my life partner. I thought we had a real strong partnership here. And then if suddenly you're standing up for yourself and standing in your own power, I could understand why this person would feel crushed by that. Especially if they're in kind of like an unhealthy mindset when it comes to relationships. If they do approach relationships with maybe some codependent behaviors, it would make sense to me that with this Two of Cups reversed, I'm seeing that they might have wanted or assumed that you wanted to be in a partnership together. Like they might have seen you as their Two of Cups upright, and then they might have been just absolutely heartbroken when it turns out that either you didn't feel the same way or you were trying to protect yourself in some way, and so you might have pulled away. And I think that it genuinely hurt them. I think that they're capable of this person's not a sociopath. They're capable of feeling hurt and sad over that situation. And I think that was, with these cards here, that was part of their energy at this moment. That was part of what they were feeling when they were with you in this moment with whatever was going on. I think that they were feeling upset that maybe you were changing and evolving in a way that was taking it from their own perception, from their own perspective, that was taking you away from them or causing a split in your partnership, and they were feeling sad and disappointed about that because they were excited about your relationship, if that makes sense. Then the reason why I brought up that this might be like maybe an ex who came towards you, like wanted to get back together, wanted to, oh, I'm so sorry, I've done the work, or I'll never hurt you again, or might have said like the right things initially. However, I think it became clear to you with this Death card in reverse, this person has not changed. They were not in a place where they were interested in changing, not willing to change their behavior here. And I think because that we have the Three of Cups in reverse, that can tell me two things, that it could be either or it could be both. Maybe there was a third party here. Maybe it could be a situation where it's like, once a cheater, always a cheater. Could have been that maybe you discovered that they weren't being faithful, or they had no intention of being faithful to you. It could have been like maybe it was something that you weren't even aware of, that they were like not actually changing their behavior or interested in changing their behavior. Honestly, it seems to me like they really wanted to kind of have their cake and eat it too. And with this card, could also be a message that maybe they're a partier, maybe they are engaging in substance abuse, maybe, or they were at the time. Like maybe that was a pattern of behavior that you were not okay with. And maybe that was something that they were not willing to work on. And it could have been that, they might have like told you what you wanted to hear, might have made some promises to you. However, with these cards right in the middle here, I'm seeing that they were really not interested in changing. So it would make a lot of sense to me if you were the one who walked away from this connection because you realized, oh, like this person's not serious about growing or evolving or becoming a better person. And the reason why I also kind of brought up this might be somebody who is a bit of a toxic person, might be somebody who does have narcissistic tendencies. I know that word can be a little bit overused, but I could see this kind of pattern of behavior because with this Five of Cups in reverse, I'm saying this person might have felt genuinely hurt and sad that you stood up for yourself. And there might have been like a little bit of a victim mentality here, because the Five of Cups reverse is somebody who is kind of like wallowing in their pain. They're kind of sitting in those hurt feelings and not doing, especially with the death card reverse, not doing the necessary things to kind of heal and grow from the situation. They're just kind of like sitting in the pain and feeling sorry for themselves. And with this being clarified by this Page of Swords, there could be a couple of different things. Might have, just take whatever resonates. Could be one of the things happened, and it could be both, But with this Page of Swords this is the Knight of Swords in reverse. We also have the Page of Swords in reverse right next to it. This is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So with this card, I'm seeing that because this person was not willing to let go or move on from their hurt feelings, they might have lashed out at you, which again was something I was feeling with the Daughter of Wands card. They might have lashed out at you with their words. They might have said things that were very cruel and hurtful out of a place of hurt. And that doesn't make it okay. They might have felt genuinely hurt and sad. That doesn't make it okay to lash out at people like that. And because I'm getting a sense there might be a bit of a victim mentality here, it could also be that when you decided to stand up for yourself in this situation, you realized they weren't going to change. They might have genuinely seen you as like a partner. However, that I could see you like growing out of this connection and saying like, no, I'm not going to tolerate the Three of Cups reversed behavior anymore. That's not okay. I could see them maybe taking that as a personal attack and not being able to separate their behavior from who they are as a person. And so when you stood up for yourself and said, I'm not going to tolerate that behavior, they might have interpreted that as you telling them that they're, a terrible person or whatever. Like whatever it was, I think they might have felt personally attacked by that and then used that to kind of hold on to this grudge in this like Five of Cups reverse, this like holding on to those hurt feelings, which again is just a very unhealthy way to handle this situation. And then what I think is interesting, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse being clarified by this Daughter of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. Sorry, I got confused. What I think is interesting is in these two cards, on the Wheel of Fortune card, there's an owl standing on a branch, like near the top, or if it's reversed, the bottom of the card. And then the Daughter of Swords is an owl, kind of, it's not a branch, but standing on a sword. And so I thought it was kind of almost as if we had kind of zoomed in on that Wheel of Fortune onto specifically the owl there. And I think we have three owls in reverse right next to each other. I think that's telling me this person was not being wise. I think they weren't able to see the full picture of what was going on. I think they were very zoomed in on how they were feeling and what they were thinking and their own pain and sadness and whatever they wanted. They weren't really focused on you here, I don't think. And I would also see this as they did not, I guess it's the same thing, they did not have an accurate perception of your situation. The owl's very perceptive, right? And they're all reversed. I think that they just did not see the situation clearly. And that's also another thing why I'm bringing up a possible narcissistic tendencies. I really don't think they were able to zoom out and see things from your perspective, or at least in this point of time. They might have changed since then, but I think at least at this point in time, they were very focused on their own feelings, and they were really not kind of taking anything else into account at this particular time. And so the Wheel of Fortune in reverse here, the first thing it tells me right off the bat is your spirit guides are confirming this is probably a karmic connection. This is probably not going to be the person that you end up being with long term. This might have been a connection where it allowed you to learn a lot and to develop coping skills, to learn how to set healthy boundaries, learn how to kind of stick up for yourself and your own emotional needs in a situation. And it could have been a learning opportunity for them. However, I think at least at the point in time when they last saw you, they were not in a mindset where they were going to take on that opportunity because their death is in reverse. They're not in a place where they're looking to make changes. They're just kind of like wallowing in their feelings. And so I would see this definitely as a karmic connection. I mean, I can't say one way or the other whether this person has changed since then or whether they are going to change in the future. I can just say, like, at the point of time when you last saw them, they were not on that path. I also want to mention that the Wheel of Fortune it mentions fortune and it's reversed. So it could be that maybe this person assumed that you were meant to be. Maybe they genuinely believed that you were their soulmate. However, they approached this situation all wrong. They were not able to clearly communicate what they were thinking or feeling in a healthy way. They were not able to be an equal partner to you with this Two of Cups reversed. They were still in their bad behavior with the Three of Cups reversed, not willing to make necessary changes, and very stuck in their own thoughts and feelings with the Five of Cups reversed. And so it makes sense, that you would want to walk away from that. Or it could have been, maybe you did want to be, really, really want to be with this person, and it could have been that you really tried and you really put a lot of time and attention into the connection, and then eventually it got to a place where you just couldn't take it anymore. And it was almost like it was like they had pushed you away or sabotaged the relationship without realizing that that's what they were doing, if that makes sense. So I would also say with this card and also the Magician in reverse being here, I don't think this person is generating very good luck for themselves. I think that this card could also be saying this might be a karmic situation, and this person does not have good karma coming for them because of the way they handled this situation. And before I forget, I do want to address the Page of Swords in reverse. So what I'm getting from this card is like a simple message that this person was not communicating honestly with you. And I don't know that they were being honest with themselves. And again, it's just kind of reiterating for me that whole idea that this person did not have an accurate understanding of your connection. They were not able to see things from your perspective. Or maybe they were able to and they were not willing to. And then with the overall energy of this being the Magician in reverse, that is also reiterating for me this idea that this person's not stepping into their power. They're not stepping up the way that you deserve to have somebody come towards you. It's reiterating the message of the Death card in reverse. The Death card in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune card in reverse. They're not putting the work in to change their karma. They're not putting the work in to make things happen for themselves. And this could be somebody who might have a victim mentality. They may not also have a lot of learned helplessness. And especially if they're in that kind of energy of the Six of Wands in reverse, where they're like very emotionally needy in an unhealthy way. It could be that they rely a lot on other people to tell them what to do or how to feel or to take care of all of their emotional needs, and they're not taking responsibility for that stuff on their own. Could be that they expect other people to take care of them, and then when somebody says, no, I'm only responsible for me, I'm not going to take care of you too, they might react negatively to that or perceive that as a rejection of who they are as a person or a personal attack. So that's the energy I'm getting from these cards here, pile 2. And again, I can't tell you if this person has changed. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen them, or if they will ever be in a position where I believe that people can and do change. I think if this is a person with a personality disorder, or something that's a little bit more innate to who they are, or maybe unresolved trauma that they're not willing to address, I think it's likely that you might be being urged to let go of this connection because of this Wheel of Fortune card in reverse. So just take that however it resonates. I will get additional advice from your spirit guides in your oracle cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that up. Okay, pile 2, here are your oracle cards. And I want to say right off the bat, I'm getting a confirmation here that this person probably had a pretty skewed perspective, both of maybe who they are, maybe how they portray themselves, maybe of how other people perceive them. I just really don't think this person, at least at the time when you last met them, I really don't think they were able to see things clearly for whatever reason. And I'm going to start with the archetype cards. So we have the hero/heroine and then child nature. And both of these cards came out upright. So the question that I asked was, what was this person genuinely thinking and feeling the last time that they saw you? And the way I would interpret the hero/heroine card is, I think that that's the way that they saw themselves. It was like, I really think either they saw themselves as a hero, they're the hero of their own story. Maybe they have like the main character syndrome, where again, like they're just not thinking about how, what other people are feeling. They're caught up in their own story. And because this card came out upright, I think that even though the tarot cards were saying, this person is not working on themselves, not interested in personal growth, not interested in changing their behavior, they're not standing in their power, I think this person has a very skewed perspective, because they see themselves as the hero. They see themselves as somebody who is, this card says, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. And so, when I brought up narcissistic tendencies, that might be what it is here. That might be what is causing this skewed perspective for this person. It could also be interpreted that, that this person, I think, did genuinely come towards you thinking that they were going to end up with you. I think that maybe they might see you, especially if they're in that magician reversed energy, where they're not standing in their power, and in the Six of Wands reversed, might have seen you as the hero or heroine of the story, that you were going to come in and save them in some way. And it's like in an unhealthy way, but I think that this might be this person's higher self coming through and saying, this was what I was thinking and feeling in this situation. And we know from the tarot cards that was not the actual accurate truth of what was happening in that situation. So that's what I'm seeing with this hero card being here. And then we have the child nature card, which might tell me a couple of things. Maybe this person has a lot of pets. Maybe they work with animals. Maybe they have a job out in nature. Maybe they portray themselves as being somebody who is very in tune with nature. Maybe they portray themselves, or maybe they are, like maybe this is a genuine thing, very concerned about the environment. That might have been something that the two of you had in common, and that might have been like a point of connection for the two of you. And this also, there was an intuitive message that came up when I pulled this card, that when you've been in separation, this person might have turned to their animals or their pets in order to distract themselves. Or it could be saying, if you resonate as somebody who is very in tune with nature and an animal lover, could just be a confirmation from spirit that this is your pile, that this is the person we're talking about. And then we have these two chakra wisdom cards here. And we have the growth card, which is associated with the heart chakra, and the confusion card, which is associated with the crown chakra. And again, these cards are just confirming for me that this person does not have an accurate idea of what your connection was like, how they were acting towards you, what your feelings are about the situation. They did not have a clear picture of what was going on here. And this growth card coming out really kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. Because the question that I just asked the same question, like, what was this person truly thinking and feeling the last time that they saw pile 2? And the growth card came out. And I think that this might be connected with all of those reversed cups cards. I think as much as this person is capable of feeling genuine love and affection for someone, I think they wanted to pour those feelings into you and to grow your relationship. It's associated with the heart chakra. I think they wanted to really maybe invest emotionally in you. But as we saw in your tarot cards, like there's behaviors that are very immature. There's, with the Three of Cups reversed, maybe they're partying all the time, or they're seeing other people, and they weren't willing to stop doing that, even though they might have wanted to come towards you saying, let's grow our relationship, let's develop our relationship, let's get closer together. I think we could build something together. I think that you were able to see through that, and they might have genuinely felt that way and been either unwilling or unable to acknowledge that maybe that was something that you didn't want. So again, only take that as it resonates. And I mean, the confusion card for me is also a pretty straightforward. I mean, the growth card confused me, but the confusion card is pretty straightforward. It's like the crown chakra, their innate wisdom, innate knowing is being blocked. They were confused about the situation. They might have been very confused about, they were like, oh, I'm coming towards you with all this loving energy. I'm coming towards you as the hero, or I'm coming towards you to be saved by you. And you're like, I'm confused. Why are you rejecting me? Why are you being so mean to me? Why are you treating me like this? Why have you hurt me so much? I think that they really just, like, I'm going to say it again and again, because this is the message that keeps coming up for me. They were either not capable or not willing to see the situation for what it was and to understand your point of view. And if you did walk away from this person, I think it was the right thing to do. And even if you didn't walk away from this person, with that Wheel of Fortune card in reverse, I think your spirit guides are communicating what was meant to happen here happened the way that it was meant to, even if it was painful at the time. Because this person, at least in the energy they were in at the time, was not the person for you. It was not healthy. This person, all of their cards were reversed. They were not in a healthy mindset. They were not in a balanced energy. And so I did pick these last two cards here are advice from your spirit guides about this connection. And we have the full moon in Pisces. I kept for all of your cards. I'm like honestly going to share honestly. For all of your cards, I kept asking for one or two cards, and the whole deck would fall out. So your spirit guides and or this person's higher self really had a lot to say. And a bunch of full moon cards fell out. And then I kept saying, I just need one card. And then the full moon in Pisces card came out. And I want to say, like, one of the other cards that I almost took and then I felt compelled to put it back was the full moon in Capricorn, which says, the end of a tough cycle approaches. And then we have the full moon in Pisces, the card that actually came out, which is the 12th sign of the zodiac, and it's also a full moon card. So that confirms that message for me that we're not talking about this person anymore, you are approaching the end of a cycle, and it's probably been a hard cycle, and I think that makes a ton of sense. If you've been dealing with a person who is in that kind of an energy, it makes a lot of sense why that would have been really tough to go through, and you might have needed time to process that. What I'm seeing here is you are approaching a place where you're going to be able to let go of this connection if that's something that you want to do. If this person's put the work in to grow and change, and they really have managed to become a different person, and to get some perspective on the situation and change all of their old habits and behavioral patterns, and maybe get some therapy, just throwing it out there. There might be a message, because this card's saying balance, spirituality, and practicality. If you are trying to manifest this person coming towards you with an apology, it's not out of the cards. It's not out of the question. However, we also have practicality here. And so this might be your spirit guide's way of saying it's okay to try to manifest things. It's okay to have faith that good things are going to happen for you. It's definitely healthy to cultivate a spiritual practice. However, we also need to kind of take a practical approach and think about, how likely is it that somebody who was in such an imbalanced energy and was not willing to change and was so focused on themselves in that situation, how likely is it that they're going to be able to do a full 180? It's not impossible. However, I think you might be being urged to take kind of a practical approach here. And then this card has fish on it, right? And so there's like a phrase that just popped into my head. There's other fish in the sea, and I realize that, we can feel really connected, and invested in people, on a spiritual level, on a soul level, and people who we recognize their behaviors are not healthy, or they're not in a healthy mind, or they're not good for us, or we might have real, genuine, deep love and affection for this person, and at the same time also just know in our hearts this person is not good for us. or maybe this person's not meant for us. And that it might be time to let go so you can complete this cycle that you're almost at the end of. And have faith, build your spiritual practice, have faith, know that you can bring in somebody who is standing in their power, who is willing to be the Two of Cups upright with you, meet you halfway in a partnership, who's not going to lash out and react immaturely when you stand up for yourself, who's not going to be cruel and say mean things to you, who's not going to be in a third-party situation or be partying all the time when that's not something that you want. Somebody who's willing to work on themselves and grow as a person and learn from their experiences. You absolutely deserve to be in a relationship like that. You deserve to be in a partnership like these two fish, and so there might be a message here to work on kind of letting go. I think part of you probably knows, it might be time to work on spiritually releasing this connection and taking, just a more kind of practical view. I know it's hard when we're in our heart, when we're connected through our heart to somebody, to get back into our head about it. However, that's what I'm kind of seeing with this connection. And whenever this card comes up, I also want to mention meditation might be helpful. If that's not something that you're doing, even meditating for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time can also, I find, is always helpful for me to help me kind of rebalance my energy. And then I wanted to talk about the perspective card. And what I also thought was interesting about these two cards being side by side, they're from different decks, but I thought it was cool because it kind of looks like we're zooming out of the Pisces card. And I realize that's the planet Earth, but I thought that was cool because there was also that kind of mirror in the tarot cards with zooming out from the Wheel of Fortune card to the Daughter of Swords. So, and this card is talking about perspective. And that, again, all of these oracle cards here, I would take as confirmation that this person did not have an accurate perspective, right? But this card is intended as advice from your spirit guides to you about this situation. And so this could just be, again, just a reminder that this person did not have a clear picture of what was going on here, and that's not your fault. Nothing that happened in this connection, I don't think any of it was your fault. Even if you might feel guilty, or you might feel like maybe you said things, in self-defense, or did things in self-defense that, were hurtful. I really don't think you have anything to feel guilty over here, Pile 2. I think that I feel like I'm harping on about this, but I think it's so important to recognize all of the tarot cards were reversed. This person was so imbalanced and so uninterested in seeing things clearly, or seeing things from a different perspective. And I think that if this is advice from your spirit guides, I think it's saying you need, if this person's not gonna have a light bulb moment. They might, as I said, and nothing's impossible. I don't think it's likely that this person's gonna have a sudden flash of a light bulb moment and realize how they treated you and how wrong it was. And this could be your spirit guide's way of saying you need to shift your perspective. It might be something that you need to do for yourself, is to work on changing how you saw this connection and what happened between you. If you've been blaming yourself, if you've been feeling guilty, it's not your fault. All their cards were reversed. This is on them. They were not stepping into their power. With those reversed swords, I could see them blaming you for what happened. And it's not true. This person was not able to see the truth, let alone speak the truth. And if it's helpful, I think there might also be a piece of advice. This card says common ground. And so I think it's a good idea, I think, to practice forgiveness and compassion, especially for the people who have done us wrong or hurt us. But it's for us. We're not doing it for the other person. We're not doing it to excuse their behavior. We're doing it so that we can heal those parts of ourselves. And it's okay also to, forgive ourselves. And say I forgive myself for succumbing to the feelings that I had for this person. I forgive myself for being so compassionate that I let this person in when all they did was take from me. Whatever the situation is here, I don't know the details, but it might be helpful to work towards forgiving this person and yourself if that's something that resonates for you. It might also be helpful to reach out to a support group or just share about this with somebody who's willing to listen and be supportive, however that is possible for you. Like, I don't want to come across as saying, that this person is terrible or irredeemable. I just kind of want to drive home the point that this person's probably not healthy for you. And you might be being urged to do whatever the final steps are here. To let go and find a fish who's going to be an equal partner for you. So I'm sorry if I rambled a lot or repeated myself a lot. Anyway, if you liked the video, please give it a like. Feel free, please, to comment down below and let me know how it resonated for you. If you have ideas for future videos, I would love to hear that. And you can subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos from me. And I do hope to see you in my next video. So thank you for watching Pile 2. Hello there, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Today I have asked what your person was honestly thinking and feeling the last time they saw you. And I have to say, I think that the picture I'm getting from these cards for you, Pile 3, is more nuanced than the previous two piles. I think that this might have been a bit more of a complicated situation. For example, in Pile 1, it seemed like their person was afraid of commitment. In Pile 2, it seemed like their person was pretty immature. But for you guys, I'm seeing that there was something here that it didn't work out. And there might have been some sort of a conflict. Maybe you got into an argument. There was some sort of, I think, a falling out. However, I don't think it was as cut and dried as one person getting scared and running away, or a situation where one of you was cheating on. I just don't think it's necessarily one of the typical reasons. And the reason why I'm saying that is we do have a mix of upright and reversed energies, and we have this Wheel of Fortune card in the middle. And I'll explain what I mean when I go through all of the cards. I also wanted to say, I know it's a little bit crowded on the screen. This always happens. I had intended to take fewer cards, and then my spirit guides were insisting this needed to be a 5-card spread. So we have the 5 cards at the top and then the 5 underneath them to clarify. And then we have an 11th card, which was the bottom of the deck card, which is just kind of like some additional context and maybe more of like an overall explanation of what happened here. So we're starting here with the High Priestess, and it's being clarified by the Queen of Cups. And so when these cards came out, what popped into my head is I think this person sees you as somebody who is very spiritual. Either that, or maybe spirituality is something that you're both into. It might be like a point of connection for the two of you. Or this could just be an indication that your person still feels spiritually connected to you. Or it might be like they felt an instant connection with you on a spiritual level. And I think that because it's being clarified by the Queen of Cups here, I think that this person was experiencing deep feelings for you. I think that there was some connection here maybe on a spiritual level with the High Priestess. And I think that this person did have deep feelings because this is the Queen of Cups. And I think that they saw you, honestly, I think they saw you as this Queen of Pentacles, but I think they also saw you as this Queen of Cups, somebody who is worth investing in emotionally, somebody who is compassionate, generous with her time and energy. She doesn't play games with people. She's loving and warm. And I think that, I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbor's dog barking. I think that this is the way that this person felt about you, that those were words they would use to describe you. And I think that because this is a clarifier, I think this was a deep feeling that they had, regardless of the other cards here. I think that this card is telling me this person had real feelings for you and they thought very highly of you. And I think that they were probably a little bit confused about that, because with the next card we have is the 7 of Cups reversed. And this 7 of Cups upright talks about having options, and when it's reversed it can talk about feeling overwhelmed by the options in front of us, or just feeling overwhelmed or confused in general. And because it's cups, I'm kind of getting this like an emotional overwhelm. Like, I think maybe this person didn't expect to have like a spiritual emotional connection with you that was so deep. And I think maybe it threw them for a loop. And they might not have known what to do about it. We have this Page of Swords in reverse, which can talk about blocked communication. It could be that, that they never expressed to you how they felt, or maybe they just were not good at getting their words out or talking about their emotions. It could be that they might have tried to talk to you about it and the words might have come out wrong, or at least that's maybe how they were feeling about that. Or that could have been something that they were afraid of. That might be a reason why, if they never told you how they felt about you, one of the reasons might have been why that they didn't know how to get the words out. There might also have been a situation in which you might have expected this person to make a choice or a decision to come towards you, and they might have been in analysis paralysis, and they might not have made any kind of forward movement. Only take that if it resonates. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune in the middle, which when it came up for a different pile, I was feeling like that was talking about a karmic connection. Like this connection was meant to happen. However, it wasn't meant to be like a soulmate, lifelong relationship. It's something that you were meant to meet and react to each other, but it wasn't meant to last. However, for you, the feeling that I'm getting with this in combination with the Five of Pentacles in reverse is telling me that this might have been a situation where one or the both of you kept trying to make it work and it just was not working. Because the Wheel of Fortune, when it's reversed, can talk about bad luck. It's unfortunate. It's just the wheel's not moving. There's some sort of blockage or stuck in, like it's just for some reason not moving forward the way that we want it to. And the Five of Pentacles is talking about hopelessness, feeling hopeless, feeling like you're alone and like nothing, you're shut out of this happy house of Pentacles here, and like you're never going to get what you want out of this situation. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, and I know I said I think that this is how this person viewed you. I think that the Queen of Cups represents, I think, how they felt about you, or how they felt about your spiritual, like the spiritual connection. Like this might have been something where it was like the first time you met, it was almost like an instant, like our souls kind of recognize each other energy. And I think that those feelings with the Queen of Cups have only got deeper as you guys spent more time together and developed your spiritual connection. And then I think that they see you as this Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's similar to the Queen of Cups, very down to earth, very patient, very generous and loving and nurturing. She's a great listener. Oh, and she's a great teacher. Like she's always willing to help. And this card is being clarified by the Hierophant. And so there might be a connection here where your person might have seen you in kind of like a mentor energy. Like I think they definitely respected you. Like they respected you as the Queen of Pentacles, and so they might have looked to you for guidance in some way. That might have been a dynamic of your connection, if that resonates for you. I also want to say before I forget, you guys might have done yoga together, because that's what's happening on this Hierophant card. However, maybe not. And the Hierophant card talks about like institutions, traditions, cultural norms, and like teaching. And so there could also be a message here that this person recognized you as this Queen of Pentacles and might have, if we're talking about traditions and institutions, might have recognized you as somebody that they might have wanted to settle down with or to marry in the long run. They might have seen you as marriage material. However, I do want to point out, sometimes when I get these readings where I think that your energy is being represented by one of the court cards, sometimes I'll get another court card that represents this other person's energy. However, I'm not seeing a counterpart in these cards here. So it could be that this person like had deep feelings, felt very connected to you, and like had a lot of respect for you as this Queen of Pentacles, is a very nurturing, giving person. Maybe somebody who's financially stable. It's a Pentacles card. they had a lot of respect for you, and I think they wanted to treat you right. Like, I think they wanted to kind of like follow the rules when it came to you. However, I don't see them being represented as a counterpoint to you. So there is a possible interpretation here that maybe they felt on some level that they were not in your league, or that you were out of their league. That's what I meant. And with the Seven of Cups reversed and this Wheel of Fortune reversed, if that's the case, they might have gotten into their head about it. They might have just been going over and over the different options, like how do I make this work? I'm not good enough for a Queen of Pentacles, and they might not have ever expressed that to you, and then they might have been thinking about the different options on the Wheel of Fortune and feeling hopeless that nothing was going to work out the way that they wanted it to, and maybe thinking, oh, this is impossible, it's never going to work out. And I do want to say with this, the Four of Cups reversed and then the Page of Wands reversed underneath it, there's a possibility they might have sabotaged this connection, whether intentionally or unintentionally, if they got into their head about it and about the potential that it might not have worked out, or they couldn't maybe see a path forward with you, or maybe there was tension between you two, maybe you got into an argument about something, and they might have used that as an excuse to sever the connection or to do or say something that they later regretted, maybe in an effort for you to make the decision for them. I do know that the Four of Cups card, when it comes out reversed, it can talk about somebody regretting their decision or changing their mind. It can also talk about somebody being very bored. And with this Page of Wands in reverse, I could understand why. The Wands is an exciting and inspired suit. However, this card is in reverse. And the Page of Wands is someone who is usually pretty chaotic and reckless. They're not really thinking about the consequences of their actions. So it could be that this person made a reckless decision, or something that made a decision that wasn't very well thought out, and then later regretted it with this Four of Cups in reverse. I also want to mention that the way that I was intuitively thinking about the Four of Cups when it came out reversed was being stuck in a feeling of disappointment. And with the Page of Wands in reverse, maybe disappointment because we thought something had potential and then it didn't pan out, even though that might have been our fault. And I'm also bringing up the self-sabotage message because we have the Five of Swords here as the overall energy of the connection. And the phrase I associate with this card is victory at a cost, and usually too high of a cost. So it could be that there was some sort of conflict here. Maybe you had a disagreement, you had a falling out about something. They might have picked a fight with you if they were in this Page of Wands reversed or the Page of Swords reversed. And because you're the Queen of Pentacles, you might have been like, well, I'm not going to sit around and deal with this. That's not fair. And it might have been a situation where they might have won the argument in that moment, but it might have been at the cost of your connection. Because I was also, when this card came up, the word that kept popping into my head was conflict. There was some sort of conflict, I think. Something happened here. Because this connection, I'm seeing, I'm not seeing anything in these cards here that would lead me to believe that this person didn't have genuine feelings, or that they were intentionally lying to you or intentionally hiding things from you. I don't think that they were afraid of this connection or what it would mean. I think, if anything, they might have felt inferior, or like they couldn't meet your energy, and they might have sabotaged the connection. Maybe or subconsciously, unconsciously, or self-consciously, if they're somebody who might have come across as being insecure. I don't know. What I do know is that with this Four of Cups reversed and this Five of Swords, I believe that they regret whatever happened between you. And I think that they regretted it almost immediately. But with the Page of Swords reversed, they might not have expressed that at all. Or if they did, it might have come out in a way that they didn't intend for it to. And again, I want to kind of reiterate, with the first two piles, I didn't feel like their person was going to come back towards them anytime soon. With this one, I'm getting the sense that there is still potential, if that's something you're interested in. If you're trying to manifest this person, I could see this having potential, because I don't think this person's feelings went away, and I think that they did regret what happened between you two almost immediately after it happened. I think they regard you very highly, and I think they just got in their head, and that I think they couldn't really see how to make this connection work. And instead of like communicating with you about that and involving you in the conversation, I think that they just decided they couldn't give you what you needed, did something reckless and stupid, proved to themselves that they couldn't give you what they needed, and that's why we have the victory at a cost card here. They were right, but it cost them you. So with that said, I do want to move into your oracle cards, which are going to just have some additional context about their mindset the last time that they saw you, and some advice from your spirit guides. Okay, pile 3, here we have your oracle cards, and I have to say I'm pretty excited about them, because I think they kind of confirm for me that, well, this connection didn't work out at the time, that there was something here that happened between you. I think there's a definite message here from Spirit that if you don't want it to be over yet, it's not over yet. So I'm going to start with the archetype cards up top there. And when the Saboteur card came out first, and it came out almost immediately, and I was like, yes, exactly. Yes, that makes sense. And I would take that as a confirmation that either unconsciously or consciously they did sabotage this connection with you. And this card says, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So with this card, I think maybe it's talking about how we had 2 queens in the cards, but we only had 2 pages and they were both reversed. And so I don't think at this specific point in time, when you last saw this person, I don't think they saw themselves as the King of Pentacles or the King of Cups, or someone who could match how they saw you. I think they might have seen themselves as the pages, and they're reversed, like an imbalanced kind of page energy. But the page is like the lowest status of the court cards, and like certainly wouldn't be approaching a queen, you know. And I think that they might have projected that fear, and they might have acted on that fear rather than maybe having to face a reality where you might have rejected them. Either way, I would take this as like definite confirmation of the kind of self-sabotage message that I was getting with your tarot cards. And then with the Warrior card here, the phrase that keeps popping into my head is, I won the battle, but I lost the war. I think this person, you know, was their energy at the time when you last saw them. I think it's very likely that they might have tried to pick a fight with you or provoke you in some way. And I mean, this card says strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So there's a chance that this person thought they were doing the right thing at the time. There's also, these both came out with a light attribute. They're not the shadow attributes. It could be that this person didn't realize that they were sabotaging until after the fact, until it was too late. They might not have realized even that if they did start something with you, they might not have realized that you weren't going to stick around. And I think they certainly didn't expect to feel the like instant, immediate regret after that. And then I want to talk about these 2 chakra wisdom cards. We have the Faith card, which is associated with the third eye chakra, and we have the Impasse card, which is associated with the sacral chakra. And with this Faith card coming out, the way that I'm being called to read this is in 2 ways. First of all, this person was a sabotaging warrior towards this connection because they didn't have faith. There was that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the 7 of Cups in reverse. They were in their head about it. They were very confused. They didn't know how to move forward. They couldn't see a positive outcome. And they didn't have faith that things were going to work out, that they were being divinely guided and protected. And I think this is also a way for your spirit guides to let you know, or it's just like, you know, the angel on the card is like waving hello. I think it's a way for them to let you know that this connection is being divinely protected. And I want to talk about the impasse card, because again, this card just like popped out of the deck and I was like, oh, yep, that one makes sense. That definitely makes sense to me. It seems like the, the literal meaning of the card, maybe you reached an impasse. You reached a point where the connection couldn't move forward in the way that it was, in its current form. And if you look at the card, like that guy is standing there, he's causing the problem. He's causing the impasse. And there's also a message when this card comes out about a need to trust in divine guidance, because it could be that, well, there might not have been a way forward at the time when you last saw this person. That might have been a way for your spirit guides to reroute the relationship or the connection. It could have been like when this card comes up, it's not saying this is an ending, this is over forever, and you can never find a way around. It's saying we need to find a different path to get to where we want to go. So there is a hopeful message with this card. And I think, with both of these cards, I think the question I asked was, what were this person's honest thoughts and feelings the last time they saw pile 3? And I think your spirit guides are also taking the opportunity to give you some additional hope about this connection. And another reason why I'm saying that is because the next two cards, your Starseed card and the Moonology card, I did ask your spirit guides for advice about this connection. And the cards we have here are trust the timing, trust the wave you came in on, time is not running out, and full moon in Gemini, the answers you need are coming. So with these two cards, I think there's definitely a message here. If you don't want this connection to be over forever, it's not. I think that this person might be definitely coming towards you. I think that with that 4 of Cups card and the 5 of Swords card, I think they regret their decisions and how they handled the situation. And they might be coming towards you to offer an apology or to try to reconnect with you or to explain themselves how they were feeling. I think that there may be an opportunity in the very near future to speak to this person and figure out what went wrong. And I think if this is a message from your spirit guides, it's just to keep having faith in divine timing, because what I'm getting from your tarot cards is this was an unfortunate situation. We had the Wheel of Fortune in reverse in the middle. So it could be, this might have been a connection that is a soul connection. We had the High Priestess. It just wasn't the right time. It might have been a case of right person, wrong time. Maybe this other person had more growing to do, more maturing to do before they could approach you as the Queen of Pentacles and give you what you need in a situation. However, I see them taking the time to develop those things so that they can come towards you, because I think that they do regret what happened and they are sorry. So I hope that was helpful, pile 3. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If it resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments. If you'd like to see more videos from me, you can subscribe to my channel. I will be putting out many more videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. So thank you for watching, pile 3. Hello, pile 4, and welcome to your reading. I do want to say I just had a coughing fit right before I started recording, so my voice might be a little strange. I'm going to try my best to get the words out. And I also wanted to say at the top of your reading, this reading today is about, I asked the question, what were your person's true thoughts and feelings the last time that they saw you? And your pile is the first pile where I feel like there might have been interference here by a third party or an outside person, somebody who might have manipulated your person into running away from your connection. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Just that's a specific interpretation that I'm getting from these cards. And I have two different scenarios here that are really sticking out for me. And in both scenarios, there is somebody else who's influencing your person's thoughts and feelings here. I mean, the main overall impression I'm getting is this person did not have a clear idea of who you really are. I think that something was clouding their ability to see you or your situation clearly. And the same thing was coming up for pile 2. However, I thought pile 2's person was confused because they had an innate lack of an ability to be honest with themselves. Whereas with your person, I'm really seeing some interference here. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So the first two cards we have here for you are the Four of Wands in reverse and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And so what the Four of Wands is saying is there was some success or something to celebrate here. They were kind of in there was a celebration or something, they had achieved something in some way, or maybe it's like, it can also talk about getting to like the next level in a relationship. It could be that they got together with somebody or they had like something to celebrate here, and it wasn't as fulfilling as they expected it to be. Like there's still kind of a reason to celebrate. It's just something was off. It was not what they expected. And this card being clarified by the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Pentacles in reverse can talk about feelings of isolation and hopelessness. And so what I'm kind of seeing here is, I think that one of the interpretations here, if we're talking about like a third person interfering, might have been, and because the overall energy of your pile, the overall card here we have for you is this Two of Swords in reverse. I'm seeing this in one of two ways. Either like with the Two of Swords in reverse, I think this person, this overall reading, sorry, I think I might be channeling their energy a little bit because I'm starting to feel a little bit confused. However, this Two of Swords in reverse is telling me this person might have made the wrong choice. They might have made an impulsive decision that they ended up, it was just the wrong choice. I'm not even sure that they're in a place of regret, but if they are, it's because they chose something that turned out to be the wrong choice. And that might be what this Four of Wands in reverse is referring to. Maybe they chose to commit to something that ended up not being as fulfilling, and maybe this decision was choosing to walk away from you or to move away from you and towards somebody else. Or it could have been that they were willing to put the energy into a relationship with somebody or a project or something, and with this Five of Pentacles in reverse, the other person didn't show up in any kind of meaningful way. So this person ended up feeling very alone and unfulfilled. And so that's like one possible interpretation. But either way, I am going to kind of stick with the idea that something happened here that was very unfulfilling. I think this person made a bad choice in some way. Or they were if we're talking about their thoughts and feelings at the time, I think this might be referring to the idea that they're coming from an energy, they were coming to whatever this choice was, whatever this decision was, they were coming to it from an energy of lack, of fear, of maybe something in their past hadn't worked out the way they wanted it to, and they might have been stuck kind of in that past trauma and stuff that they hadn't healed from. And maybe that was showing up as maybe a fear of either making a choice at all or making the wrong choice here, if that makes sense. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And I've been thinking about this in two ways. There's one that's coming up a little bit more strongly for me, which is that I think that because this card is being clarified by the Ace of Cups, I think that this might be how this person saw you at the moment, how they felt about you, their perception of you the last time they saw you. And I don't think it was an accurate perception, but I think that whoever this Ace of Cups was, because the Ace of Cups is here, I think they were developing feelings for somebody who was this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And so that could either have been a false perception of you, because the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is somebody who is manipulative, lazy. They don't want to put the work in. They want to rely on other people to do everything for them. They're materialistic. They only care about money. Somebody might have told this person that maybe you were a gold digger, you were just after, if they have money, maybe you were just after that, or you're chasing status or something along those lines. And then I'm getting another possible interpretation, which might have been if there was a third party here and this person might have made the decision to pursue a relationship with them instead of their connection with you, this could just be a way for spirit to say, like, this is who this person they chose over you turned out to actually be. They turned out to be lazy, manipulative, materialistic, and that could be part of like what the quote unquote wrong choice that this person made. And I do want to say that, like, no matter which interpretation is resonating with you more, we do have the moon in reverse here in the middle of the reading, and the moon in reverse is telling me that this person was not seeing things clearly. They did not have an accurate perception of what was going on. And the fact that this card is being clarified by the Queen of Swords in reverse is telling me that that's probably because they had somebody telling lies. This Queen of Swords in reverse is, again, a very manipulative person, and specifically because it's swords, they will say whatever they need to say to achieve their goals without regard to how somebody else feels. They will tell lies, they will gossip about people, and I think that this Queen of Swords in reverse showing up here, I think this is somebody who intentionally lied to your person in some way to get them to walk away from you. Or they might, even if it was you who decided to end this connection, it might have been because of the lies that somebody else was telling. And I think this Queen of Swords person, like, it can either be, if there was a third party that this person chose to move towards instead of moving towards you, could have been that person. Maybe they were, like, spreading lies about who you were. Or it could be somebody else in their life, maybe a family member, maybe that, like, their mother or their sister or somebody, or it could have been a male, maybe their father or brother or somebody in their life, maybe a friend who, like, has a lot of influence over their thoughts, or did at that point in time. And for whatever reason, this person decided that they didn't like you, or maybe they were jealous of your connection with your person, and they intentionally chose to pull the wool over this person's eyes, and as, like, with the moon reverse, clear message, like, not, like, it's an illusion, it's not real, you're not seeing the truth. And so that's why I was bringing up the interpretation that this person might have been seeing you as a Queen of Pentacles in reverse, even though they had feelings for you with the Ace of Cups here, because of the lies the Queen of Swords in reverse was telling them. They chose to believe that person over believing you, which, if we're talking about making the wrong choice, that was clearly the wrong choice in this situation. There could be another, if we're going with the other interpretation that the Queen of Pentacles is representing a third party, then I would just say, the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords probably the same person, just telling lies. And unfortunately, that your person had feelings for this third party, and again, they just chose to go the wrong way, or they chose to believe something that wasn't true, and then that caused you to make the decision to walk away from them. However, with this, the Two of Swords reversed here as your overall energy, that's the card with the scissors on it. With that card here, I would normally take that as an indication that this person didn't make a decision here. They weren't ready to commit to anything one way or the other. And, like, when this card comes up reversed, it can talk about people being so paralyzed about making a decision that it causes other people to get upset with them. Like, it causes problems. They're avoiding making a decision to the point where it's causing problems. However, with these next two cards here, they're telling me that I should probably interpret the Two of Swords in a different way, which is that, as I said at the top of the reading, they might have made, like, an impulsive decision instead. Like, instead of taking the time, actually, I don't remember if they said it or not, but I was thinking it. They might have made an impulsive decision based on, like, the lies that they were being told, this incorrect picture of who you are. And instead of giving themselves time to really work through, what they know to be true about you, and really kind of evaluate the source of this information and really think it through, I think they made an impulsive choice. And I'm saying that because we had the Eight of Wands here, which is being clarified by the Knight of Cups in reverse. And so the Eight of Wands is usually a positive card in other readings. I usually interpret it positively because it can talk about really like fast moving energy and really fast moving success. And it's like maybe you're working on a creative project and you're really gaining momentum and things are just taking off and like everything is working out in your favor. It's like that kind of energy. However, because it's being clarified by this Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm being called to interpret this as taking like the quick moving part of it and applying it to like this was a rash decision this person made to essentially run away. Because the Knight of Cups in reverse, for like the way I'm being called to interpret this card, the Knight of Cups in reverse intuitively, is that it's like a blocked Knight of Cups. You know, a Knight of Cups coming towards you with a romantic offer. When it's reversed, it's like, I'm not doing that, or I'm going to go somewhere else. And we see this figure on the card is like staring directly at that Queen of Swords. Like he's paying attention to what this Queen of Swords is saying. And he's also facing away from us on the card. And so that's telling me like this person chose to believe what this Queen of Swords was telling them instead of what they knew to be true in their heart, which I'm seeing being represented here by this Ace of Cups upright, if this is representing you in this connection. They were not listening to their heart, they were listening to this person. I'm also, I am going to say, like, when the Knight of Cups comes up reversed, like, I think this person made a rash decision that, I'm not going to tell you your feelings, but it was heartbreaking. It might have broken your heart. Like this person kind of ran forward to break your heart. That's an interpretation that I'm getting. And I think in the process, they ended up really hurting themselves. I think that they just kind of made an impulsive choice here. And I think with the next two cards, I think there's a message here that this person is maybe starting to recognize that they made the wrong decision. Because what I've been seeing in all four piles is there's been the first four cards have been about the person's thoughts and feelings at that point in time, and then usually the last card has been, I think, a way for spirit to communicate maybe a shifting or changing energy, maybe what they've realized since then, maybe they're maybe how they've kind of changed, if that makes sense. Because we have the Six of Cups in reverse, and the Six of Cups is like the nostalgia card, essentially. Like it can be about like really happy memories. It can talk about people from our past coming back into our lives. It can talk about like people from our childhood or children. And when it's in reverse, it can have a couple of different meanings. It can talk about somebody who is only remembering the good times, or somebody who is really struggling to let go of an emotional connection because of like a past, like because you have so much history. And so the way I would interpret this is, again, there's a duality here. Like I am seeing, maybe there's some of you watching for whom like one interpretation is true. Maybe there's some watching for whom the other interpretation is true. If either of them resonate, I see a duality here with the Six of Cups in reverse too. So I would say like the first interpretation is this person might have been letting their old emotions or maybe family ties, if this Queen of Swords is a family member, might have been letting like their past connection to this person. Maybe they knew this person before they met you. Maybe this was somebody who'd been in their life. Maybe it was an ex. I don't know. But they might have been letting their connection to this person cloud their judgment in terms of like who they should listen to in this situation. And it could also be a message that this person, even though they might have made like a rash decision to move away from you, or to maybe like, I don't know, maybe say some mean, unforgivable things, they might be having a really hard time letting go of you because they're remembering how great it felt to be with you, to spend time with you, the happy memories that the two of you have. I think they're having trouble because they keep going over and over the same happy memories again. And this might be a message here, because there's a message with the Two of Swords reversed sometimes that, if something has been stagnant for a long time, and if somebody refuses to make a choice for long enough, like it can be a very stagnant energy. Sometimes when this card comes up, it can be a message that energy is starting to shift. So there could be a message here that this person is finally starting to see clearly. And maybe they're re-examining their memories and realizing, oh, you're like, first of all, I wasn't seeing this clearly. Secondly, you are not the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. That was never true about you, and that somebody has been lying to them. I think that there may be a message that they're starting to see the reasons why they made the choice that they made or didn't make, and why it was the wrong move. I'm also giving that interpretation because this card is being clarified by the King of Wands. And as soon as that card popped up, I noticed a couple of things. First of all, this could be representing your person, and their energy, like they're really dwelling in old memories, and it might be putting them into this like King of Wands energy, where they're really kind of focused on like the good, happy, fun memories. It could be representing, that there could be interpretation where that's not the case. It could be saying this person is specifically choosing to focus on the fun, happy, positive memories of you, and that's kind of keeping them in a place where they're like emotionally stuck. It could be saying that, maybe this isn't about the future at all, and this was part of the energy they were in when you last saw them, and maybe this King of Wands here is kind of pointing up at the Eight of Wands. And so it could have been that, they thought they were in like a balanced energy with this King of Wands. They thought they were making the right choice. And that's why they were moving so fast to be this Knight of Cups in reverse. I think that that might have been why they were making such a rash decision, was because whatever this person was telling them, whatever story this person was telling, was making them feel like, oh, I need to be the King of Wands in this situation, and I need to really take charge and really kind of charge forward. And if the person here who was spreading lies about you is like a family member, someone from this person's past, maybe the fact that they have such pleasant memories of this person was causing them to behave impulsively here. So I hope that makes sense. I felt like I rambled a lot. I hope I got everything out in a clear way. And I want to say that I don't think the door is closed here, because I think, as I said, I think there's an interpretation here where this person might be realizing that they've been lied to. And I think, this Queen of Swords, I don't think she's going to be able to keep up the act forever. And hopefully your person is going to be able to get to a place where they can start to see the situation for the way it was and realize, like, oh, my perception of you, pile 4, was incorrect, and I owe you an apology for listening to someone else instead of listening to you. So I think if you're trying to manifest this person or attract this person back into your life, I don't think it's hopeless. Because I also don't know how long it's been since you've seen them. But this person, this, to me, is a pile about a third party interfering. Whatever that means, however that resonates. And so, because there was a third party's influence here, I think there's always a chance that this person's going to be able to realize the truth of what went on here and make necessary changes, and maybe decide to come back towards you, because I think that they might want closure, and might want to give you closure about what really happened here. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, pile 4. I am going to move on to the Oracle cards, which is just going to give us a little bit of extra context about what this person was thinking and feeling at the time when you last saw them, and also some advice from your spirit guides. Okay, pile 4. So here we have your Oracle cards. And I want to say, judging by these cards, I think it's likely that this person thought they were doing the right thing at the time. Because we have the first two archetype cards here. We have I asked the question, what was your person's energy? What was their energy the last time that they saw you? And I'm going to address the hedonism card. I'm going to start with the Liberator card because that really kind of speaks to me in terms of the first two cards that we saw in your tarot cards. We had the Four of Wands in reverse and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And I was getting that message about maybe a past traumatic experience that might have caused this person to be in a place where maybe they were easily manipulated because they have some fear of being abandoned, maybe, or being left out in the cold, or a fear maybe of not being able to find a perfect relationship or the right relationship or something that is like meeting their ideals. And the Liberator card says freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. And I think this might have been what this person genuinely thought they were doing by choosing to end their connection with you. They might have thought that they were kind of like freeing themselves from an old pattern, when in reality they were not doing that at all, and it might have been the opposite of what they were doing. But they were not, I don't think they were seeing it clearly. And I want to, like with Pile 2's person, they weren't seeing the situation clearly because there was a little bit of like delusion there. They're like, I'm going to say they were a little bit delusional. However, with your person, I really think they were being influenced by somebody else. And I think it was somebody who really knew how to manipulate this person by playing on those fears. The fears of like staying in an old pattern. So this person might have thought that they were kind of liberating themselves from that, when in reality that turned out to not be the truth. And it could have also been tied to this hedonist card that is showing the shadow attributes, which are pursuing pleasure to the detriment of health and indulging at the expenses of others. So we could interpret this like a couple of ways. I think that it might have been, this person, maybe part of them knew that they weren't following their heart in this situation. And if there was another person that they were moving towards, it could have been that instead of addressing the real issue here, or the real issues in their life, and actually being in this liberator energy and actually liberating themselves from whoever this person was who was trying to manipulate them, they might have been avoiding that stuff by pursuing some sort of pleasure instead. If that makes, take that as it resonates. Might have pursued like maybe a meaningless relationships, or just, wanted to sleep around, which, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I don't think it was fulfilling for this person, because this card's specifically talking about the fact that it's like in an unhealthy way, in an avoidant way, in maybe an excessive way. And there could be a message when this card comes out about, other kinds of avoidance through pleasure, such as, substance abuse, or, any activity that releases a lot of dopamine. And if that is the case, it could be that those things were also contributing to this person's clouded judgment at the time. And I did want to make the connection, again, with the perfection card. I think that that's like directly tied to that Four of Wands in reverse, which, as we saw, was talking about something that we expected to turn out one way turns out to not be as fulfilling as we thought. And that can be from like a perfectionistic perspective. Maybe we got the job we always wanted, but it turned out, it wasn't, there were parts of it that we didn't like, or we are in a committed relationship with the person that we thought we wanted, but it turns out that, they have shortcomings that we don't like. It could be, we bought our dream house, but there's like no perfect place to put your office, or there's too much sunlight in one room, or there's too much this or that. It can also be like talking about that kind of thing where no matter how good something is, it might not be able to reach a certain standard. So it could have been that this person might have given up something that could have been great in their pursuit of absolute perfection, which I think is unrealistic. And there's also a likely scenario where whoever this person was who was manipulating your person might have been aware of their perfectionistic streak or their search for perfection and might have used that as a way to turn this person against you. And I would tie this self-worth card here with maybe that King of Wands card. If that's representing your person thinking that they're being in their King of Wands energy when they're moving away from you, when in reality they're being manipulated, could be saying like, maybe they were feeling a lot of self-worth at that time. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to liberate myself from old patterns. I'm going to pursue this perfect thing. And I'm also going to, on a subconscious level, try to distract myself with pleasure, because maybe innately I know that I'm not doing the right thing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with these 4 cards here. And then the last 2 cards, the Starseed card and the Moonology card here, I asked for advice from your spirit guides regarding this connection. And the overall message I'm getting from both these cards is just to take care of yourself. And because, first of all, we can't know, I could ask, but I don't think there's a way to guarantee, I guess is how I should say it, that this person is going to come back, that they're going to realize what happened here and make the choice to come back towards you. Because they could be on the verge of that, or making breakthroughs about it, or like thinking about coming back towards you, and then they could choose not to do it, and so there's no way for us to really have a guarantee that it's going to happen. And with the cards here, I'm saying like the door is not closed here. There's definitely a possibility. However, I can't make that guarantee. So I think the advice from your spirit guides here is that no matter what happens in this situation, it's really important for you to focus on taking care of yourself and giving yourself the time that you need to heal from whatever happened. And with the Hathors, that's the Starseed card, it says deep love, mother's milk, and birth is a portal. And the message that I'm getting with this card is you are loved and being held by the universe always. Even if your own mother or the mother figure in your life wasn't able to love you the way you deserve to be loved and to do those things for you, the universe loves you that way and will always hold you and will always protect you, will always take care of you, and you can always return to it if you need a mother's love. And then we have the balsamic moon, which says a time for healing. And so there might be a message here for, if there's a mother message with the Starseed card, maybe it's time to work on healing your relationship with your mother, if that's something that applies to you, or maybe mothering yourself a little bit and really putting an emphasis on self-care, self-compassion, and giving yourself time to rest if you need to. There's no need to rush into whatever the next thing is. It's important to take whatever time you need. And with both these cards, I'm getting a very kind of soft, gentle energy. And I think that that's how the universe, how your spirit guides, how your higher power, however you want to refer to it, I think that's how they want you to treat yourself. And I'm not bringing up the connection here because I think that they're not focusing on this connection. I think it's more of like just a general advice, because no matter what this person decides to do or not do, it's still important for you to take care of yourself. So those are the messages from the cards here today, pile 4. I hope you liked this reading. I hope I didn't ramble too much. If you did like it, feel free to give it a like. Please comment and let me know how it resonated for you. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching, pile 4.